Yeah. So there's a one important session. Can I say like that? So a interaction session where the your means. The people who are working, especially in a Bangalore sector only, who are working on IoT, they are talking to you today, and they will tell what work they are doing and how their journey towards this particular thing. Just I will have a check that whether they have joined or not. Just 1 minute. Sir, join Adra, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah, he is joining. Just he's asking another 2 minutes. Let him join. We'll see how he's going to work. The person first, let him come. I'll introduce that particular person. I think he has joined. No, just I'm waiting. Yeah, let him join. We'll keep on discussing about the projects, what we have did and how you are going to do that particular projects and all. See, my plan today is like this. Let him, he will speak out that what projects actually is there in a medical company. For medical company, how they have taken a software fellow there and what some medical projects they are doing, especially using an IoT and all that you will come to know today. And another person is there by name Mahesh Kadam. He is your super senior. I think he's also working as an embedded engineer. As an MCA student, he joined as an embedded engineer in a company, and now he is working on a microchips there. You can imagine how these things will happen. We'll listen from their voice only. Then you can understand how the field will be there in a further. See, just I will make admit him. Sir Chandrakant, sir, good morning. Chandrakant, sir, good morning. Unmute, sir. Unmute, Pani. Ah,
Good
sir, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. How are you, sir?
Fine, sir. Dear students, I'm introducing Chandrakant sir. Actually, Chandrakant sir, I met him in Apsis Solutions, where I have gone for an internship there to study about, to learn about an PIC 18 kit, and he's my teacher there. So I should tell always, he teach me very well there, and actually I don't know any basics about even IoT, how to code in IMP and lab and all. So he made me learn like from basics, and he taught me how to connect and which pins should be used and all. And he made me to learn about that IoT classes all 10 days. So that is one of the best thing. So I'm always grateful to Chandrakant sir, who as a teacher made me to learn about IoT. And introducing him now is in a company. He's working in a company called Bio5 Medical Healthcare Private Limited, and he's a senior design engineer there. Sir, now this time I'm taking a subject for my students, IoT, Internet of
Okay.
Things. So meanwhile, only teaching the textbook syllabus and making them what is there means going according to the textbook, preparing exam. This is not my objective. So my children should know what is the use of IoT, especially in industries. As a person background of this, you have played with many electronic devices. I saw you even you are designing a PCB drawings and all, and you are a master in that. Now, just I want my students from your voice to tell what is the importance of an IoT and how industry is using this and how their career will be there when they will be out from this MCA, especially. Sir, please take over to you.
Okay, sir. Sure. Thank you. But the main objective, what I want to say is that as I'm working in the biomedical field, I would like to cover like how the biomedical field is excelling in the IoT platform, and in general concepts, I would like to cover the other things also. Okay, so and I might be able to cover some importance of all those things.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll just start a presentation right now. Okay,
Thank
then I'll
you.
continue.
Yes, sir.
So, is the PPT visible, sir?
No, sir, it's not visible. Present now in that window sharing you take, sir.
Yeah, just a minute. I'm just checking.
Yeah, it's going on.
Yeah. Okay. First thing, hello everyone. So, okay, today's topic is that the Internet of Things and its importance. So,
Sir,
basically,
presentation is mute, I think.
mm,
Sir,
uh, just a minute, sir. Mute.
the students, are you listening? His voice?
Is it audible?
Students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, sir, it's audible. It's audible.
Okay. Okay, so today's topic is the Internet of Things and its importance. So, basically, what is Internet of Things? So, the term when it says that Internet of Things, it not only means that we have to connect to internet using the data and everything. So it may also means that connecting the devices over a internet or intercommunicating between the devices, that is machine to machine also. Like in a small network also the devices get connected, okay, and that is also called as Internet of Things. It's not necessarily your internet where you browse and do everything. So what is internet? So internet is basically Internet of Thing is a internet is something which you can say all the devices are connected towards a network. So similarly, when this concept was formed, IoT, so it only meant that connecting almost all the devices over a single network so that each devices could communicate with each other and share the information so that those data can be used for a greater cause. So basically the definition only stands like this: Internet of Things is a concept reflecting a connected set of uh, anyone, anything, anytime, any place, any service, and any network. That means there shouldn't be any limitation, that you should be able to connect every device with every other device so that the data sharing should happen and you should be able to use the data efficiently. The basic idea of this is to use data efficiently and to improve your work and the efficiency. So these are some examples where you can see in this image that IoT means machine to machine interface, Internet of Everything from Cisco, embedded, like embedded devices, internet connecting to the internet, web-based applications which are communicating with the internet and the hardware, vehicles that are interacting with another vehicles over the internet, and smart energy management, and all those things. So basically, IoT means in all the domains, it should be able to communicate with one another so that the data sharing happens. And with that data, we should be able to control most of the things and solve major problems. So in another definition, we could say uh, almost anything, including living things. So when we say living things, what and all, I mean, how do we connect living things to the internet? So it's basically by connecting some devices, some sensors to the living beings that will send the data over the cloud, and that data later is being processed and analyzed, and then the conclusions are derived from that. So those derivations also has to be done by some software applications only. So here comes your deep learning and everything. So which will analyze the data, and whatever the raw data the sensors are sending, so that will be analyzed statistically, and it will be able to give a form, data in a form which is understandable, and you will be able to derive conclusions out of it and make some sense actually. So basically, this is the definition you can say. And another thing is that what is the importance? So this IoT thing is, there's a lot of importance here. There are some few which I have listed it out. So they're like smarter natural disaster management. So as we have seen a lot of natural disasters happening around the world recently also. So all those things can also be predicted using some intelligent devices, and we could stop the losses. I mean, we can't stop the disaster from happening, but we can stop the losses which are happening due to these disasters. So like example, I can say the forest fire, if it happens, and if you have some devices which are integrated in certain places, so which will be able to predict the onset conditions that is going to promote this particular disasters. Like example, people you might know that we had a tsunami in 2004. So if we had some mechanism to predict, so we would have reduced the losses before only. So after that, a lot of developments have been done, and things have been implemented. So similarly, another disaster, many disasters could be predicted based upon the sensors. Okay. And the basic idea was that not to just predict, and if there is a disaster which has occurred, the response teams which respond to the activity, uh, response to the activity, so that the losses could be reduced and many more lives could be saved. Because if there is a delay in these kind of responses, the first responders who respond for this activity, so there might be a loss of life, which usually happens because lack of information, like lack of information about the person, about the conditions which are there. Like if the first responders have to be at a particular place, and if they come to know that the roads have been blocked, they won't be able to go. They have to wait for some management tools to come to clear the road, and then they have to go to that particular place. So if there are some devices which are integrated and which will help us to monitor this scenario, so then first responders also will be able to be on time, predict these things before only happening, and they'll be able to help. So this is understanding the natural disasters and controlling them, not controlling, to predict and reduce the losses. And the second one is that smart urban management. That means you would have heard about the smart cities and smart traffic management, all those things. So this is to efficiently control the flow of traffic and usage of the resources. Like in a smart city, you can see there might be a lot of buildings which are being implemented with smart technologies like smart water management, smart waste management, smart electricity management, all those things. So the basic idea is whatever the resources we have, we know that all those are limited. Over the time, these things will be depleting. So we have to manage all those things. But how do we do that? So if manually we think about it and we try to manage using our own skills, it's a little bit tough. So that's why we have got this all devices which are integrated and which monitor all those things and update the data to the cloud. So where the analytical things will happen, and that will allow you to control it in a better manner by providing you options and analytical results, which can save a lot of resources for us for our future. And another thing is smart healthcare. So here, smart healthcare is the major thing, because whatever we do, it's all about our health. I mean, to live longer. So all this disaster management, why we are doing this? To live longer. The urban management, that is also to live longer as to improve our resources. Similarly, healthcare, it's directly connected to us, as this will directly monitor our health. So how do we monitor our health? You would have heard about a lot of mm, smart devices like Apple Watch and other smart devices for heart rate monitoring, your blood pressure monitoring, and etc. Also, when you go to hospital, there might be some finger clips which will be put on check. They check the SPI O2 levels, that is your oxygen level in the blood, and there are other tests also. So all those things, but all those things which you have to go to hospital and get it done can also be done at your place, and the data could be shared over the net to the doctors, and they could take certain decisions, and they can give you the medications. So why this is necessary? Because it's not always that you'll be able to go to a doctor and consult those things, and it doesn't. It also means that there might be a lot of you might be at a place where its medical facility is not accessible. So all those scenarios we've taken into consideration, and people have prepared these devices like wearable devices that detect a host of health problems. And second thing is that devices with these devices data, the hospitals will get to know the conditions of the patients exactly, and then they can deploy a responder. Like if a medical unit has to be sent to a particular place based upon his emergency, it could be arranged. Or if there's enough time, then the patient only could come to the hospital, and they can monitor him online. They can address him the medications so that the first aids could be done. All those things. So here I'm going to cover a little bit about this healthcare related things, because as I'm working on the healthcare domain, so this will be better to explain you things. So basically, how does this IoT works? IoT is something, Internet of Things. I already know that. So it's basically working on the three to four things. That is, first is monitoring. How do you monitor the subject, or how do you monitor anything? That is based upon your sensors. So we should have a sensor which will give us a relevant data. For example, I can say if you want to monitor a particular person's heart, so there are devices which will monitor the heart. There's called heart rate monitoring systems, which will capture your ECG signals, okay, of the heart, which are the electrical activity happening in your body. So those data that will be sent over the cloud to a database. Once the data has been received, the next process is analyzing it, because whatever the data has been sent, it's only understandable to certain people, but like doctors, but it should be in a visual form. But the data which the sensors will send, it's in a raw data form, which has to be analyzed and then converted into a understandable data. So data analyzing is also important. So based upon analysis, the next thing will ensure, that is, the analysis means processing the data, then communicating the data to the relevant teams. And then if the data has to be understood, that means we should have a prediction. Like if this is the thresholds, if there are some thresholds that this particular data shouldn't exceed these limits, that means that indicates that a particular person has some other issues. And if the particular data doesn't trigger, that means he's in a normal condition. So if you have these triggers, then what the system can do is it will alert based upon your data, and an immediate action could also be taken. So you can see that all these are process driven one by one. Like first you have to collect the data, then you have to analyze, then the trigger mechanism happens, then the action has to be taken according to the trigger. So all those things can be done by the system only, based upon the data what it has. So what is the what is the idea of this IoT in healthcare? What can it do? So basically, it can do the main impact of this is ability to react with speed. As much as data we have from the patients and collect and we analyze it, so most of the diagnostics could be done over the internet only, and the analysis could be done much more faster. Like if you have multiple patients data, then what happens is that you can run multiple algorithms and it will predict like what might be the scenario, what might be the issue with the person based upon his symptoms. So we can predict what is going to happen before only, so based upon his symptoms. So then we can treat it at the earlier stage, and if possible we can cure it. And as you know that as these machines work much more efficiently, so the higher quality of work can be delivered with a higher quality output. Okay, for example, you can see here that how many IoT devices have been connected by this 2020. So this is a statistical analysis from Gartner, Cisco, Morgan Stanley, and Intel. So there are 26 billion devices from Gartner, 50 billion devices from Cisco, 75 billion from Morgan Stanley, and 200 billion from Intel. So almost these many devices have been integrated from these particular companies, and they're on the network. So all the data has been collected, and you can see that a lot of automations have been done. For example, I could say Google only. So you have seen a lot of intelligent features from the Google on your phone, that it like Google Lens. When you just face your camera, switching on the Google Lens, it can detect what kind of an object, which place, and all those things. How are they able to do it? Over the years, what they have done is they have just collected the data, and right now they are running the algorithms, and right now they are making the predictions what could it be. So similarly, whatever you do, first the important thing in IoT is data. And for getting the data, you have to have a specific sensors. So it could be a human being, it could be a device. Like in industries, I can say there are machines, motors running. So if you want to predict when the machine will go bad, then you have to have a sensor to detect the wear and tear in the machines. That's based upon your its electrical activity or its mechanical wear and tear. So you have to design a sensors in which we should be able to monitor the particular device. So then with that data, we could run some algorithms and analytics, and then we will be able to understand what is going to happen before it even happening. So this is a simple structure of IoT, how it's helping our lifestyle. Here you can see that IoT and medical healthcare, both are combined, and it is used in every aspect of life. Like in your individual lifestyle, social life, everywhere IoT is there. So every device has been interacting with each other device, where it is helping you in benefiting it, like water sanitization, like unemployment. That's also be solved because when you have your resume online using the tool, that is going to alert you based upon your qualifications. And agriculture and food products, you can see that the food you are eating, so those are also have been, can be monitored. Like there are certain devices which could find out the nitrate levels in your food and detect the quality of the food. Okay, so these testings could be done at the earlier stages, and we can define that which vegetables and which fruits which are coming to us are good or bad, and those things could be helpful for our health. Certain things like normal health could be monitored from remotely, and certain things we have to go to the hospital. So all those things could be integrated, and right now we will have a better life with this. And the basic idea is that if we could prevent these issues earlier by collecting the data before happening, so then it's like we're going to extend our lifeline a little bit furthermore. So what does it look like in healthcare usually? So I'm going to show you some examples, like what and all the features, what all things implementations have been done till now. So that's going to happen. So being able to monitor and support a person free from physical constraints will change the way doctors deal with patients. That means every time a doctor need not be in front of a patient to analyze him. With all the data, he could make the conclusions and he could prescribe him a particular medication, and that could be assisted to him. So with this, the efficiency of the doctor will work as he need not move around all the patients in a hospital and spend his time. All he has to do is sit in front of a laptop or system where all the data will be coming, and as he's monitoring, he'll be able to uh, make decisions from one place. That means he'll be able to monitor multiple peoples over a single same time, and he should be able to assist. So these are some statistics. You can see that the percentage of IoT devices found in medical healthcare is approximately some 30%, and elsewhere is 69%. The predicted global worth of IoT in healthcare in 2025 is 2.5 trillion. Basic questions in medical healthcare when it comes right now is that has a person taken his medication? So you can see medication is important once it's been prescribed. It has to be addressed over the time on a regular basis to counteract the problem. So if somebody has missed their medication, then there will be another side effects, all those things. So because of which medication, maintaining the track of the medication is very important. For it, many devices have been implemented. So here are some equipment which are available or under development. So there are some electronic pill dispensers which dispenses the pills at certain time, and there are electronic bottles, caps, and pouches which monitor the all the pills and medications and syrups which has to be delivered, and pharmacy on a chip, so which is an integrated chip which currently undergoes clinical trials. So this is a drug delivery technology also, and there are monitoring systems, and there are smart watches which are you are familiar with. So basically, smartwatches has the heart rate monitoring, ECG, which is me coming in the future actually. So how do people track their health? For tracking your health, there's a lot of fitness related bands, and for well-being, there is a IoT platform for wearable. Those are also wearable things which will monitor your health conditions, and you can have a clinical support from remotely. Like there are a lot of diagnostic centers where the testings have been like when you request for a testing. The thing is that the diagnostic center sends a particular person with a kit. He will be able to come along with the equipment, and he'll be able to collect the data from you, and that data will be shared over the cloud to the diagnostic center where the reports have been generated, and then it will be forwarded to you. So this is the one of the best things which are happening, because right now in this particular situation also, people need not go out. Everything can be done from home only. And if there is any accidents or any other disaster happens, the response team has to be on time. So if there are some devices which are installed in the vehicles in case of accidents, which can alert to the nearest hospital, or which for the ambulance, if it can assist them to the nearest hospital by controlling the traffic. So all these things could be achieved using your IoT based devices. So this is a simple architecture for a harmonized in-vehicle emergency call system. So where the vehicles will be installed with a device which will communicate to the nearest rescue intervention facilities over the internet. It's a simple architecture which you can see. So this concept has been implemented in European Union in 2015. So this is one more simple product which is being developed, like how do we prevent and control infections. So right now everybody might be using sanitizers for hand washes and other things to avoid this corona effect. But similarly, this is a practice that has to be done regularly. So to count those things, so this is a device which is being developed for monitoring your hand washing practices in real time. Is it possible to develop a predictive life-saving approach? Well, I would say yes, because with the collecting all the data from all the patients onto a single place and running the analyzing the data, so we will be able to predict what are the symptoms, and with these symptoms, what is the next thing which is going to happen with the patient. So all those things could be counteracted over the time, and we could be able to save many people's life. So this is one of the devices, like it's from the LifePack 15 portable heart monitoring defibrillator, which is a machine-to-machine technology. Where what it does is that it should be able to defibrillate, and it should be able to give electrical shock to the person and activate his heart. It will be able to monitor the ECG and other vital signs, which should be able to say and send to the servers, from where the medical facility will be ready with the equipment by the time the patient has been is reached the hospital. Similarly, there are other projects which are being developed, like Project Artemis. So this is done with the help of University of Ontario's Institute of Technology and Toronto. So it is to detect nosocomial infection in infants 12 to 24 hours before any outward signs appears. As we are also working on this biomedical devices, the main idea is to increase the medical device utilization. So this is the device which we are working. So it's a non-invasive blood glucose monitoring device. Uh, People, you might have seen this kind of a device already. So it's a clip kind of a thing. So where you will be able to monitor your blood glucose. When I say blood glucose, the idea is here. People might remember that there are some strips, there is some pricking. They have to take blood and they have to see the blood glucose. So to overcome all those things, we have come with a solution with this mechanism. That only thing you have to do is you have to place your finger in the clip and press a button, and the device will be able to uh, provide you the glucose level of your blood. So with this glucose level, you should be able to uh, take the medication for controlling the blood glucose. And the features of this device are, it is interfaced with your Android phone over the app, so that will interact, and the data will be sent to the cloud, and that data is being stored. So once we have a good enough of data, we'll be able to analyze, and we'll be able to predict that based upon his glucose levels, what might be, how his health conditions are moving, like what might be the problems which he might face in the near future. So all those things. So once we have seen this, all these devices share the data over the internet. The next thing which comes to our mind is security, because all we know that once everything comes onto a network, the next thing is that anybody could hack into it, and a lot of damage could be done. We know that a lot of help could be done over using this data, but also equivalently damages also could be done. So how do we? We need to take a lot of precautions for this. A lot of measures to avoid this kind of things from happening. So healthcare devices deal with a lot of private information, like a particular person's health condition, and there are some devices, to inject the medication automatically based upon his health condition. So there are a lot of devices which have been implemented. So without the presence of a doctor, also certain devices work. If somebody could hack into such a device, he'll be able to cause a lot of damage to the patient by injecting him overdosage, all those things. So the security has to be taken care, the encryptions and algorithms, a lot of things have to be done. People are working on all those also. And the information needs to be protected from being revealed, modified, or forged, and critical to identify and analyze distinct features of IoT security privacy. So this is the things which I have covered. It's not much, but still this is just a basic idea which I have given you guys. So this is for the day. Thank you. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask actually. Hello.
Bhatna sir is not audible, sir.
Yeah, sir. Stop the presentation, sir.
Yes, stopping it.
Just stop it, sir. Yeah, yeah. Chandrakant, sir, very good information, sir. Thank you very much. You have told many things about bio medical, means especially IoT implementation in a bio field.
Yes.
Students, any doubts regarding this? Please, you can ask. It's open. Sir will try to answer that. Students, any doubts is there?
No, no, sir.
Anything like that you want to ask about, sir? How the company and all? It's open. You can ask your doubts. Means how they are working and all. Anything? Chandrakant, sir, from my side, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir, if our students, especially MCA students, they will learn almost all application based things is there. They will do that. They are new to this hardware things, actually, to say. And in
Okay.
our BMS, especially in our MCA department, I don't want my children to be like not to learn any hardware like that. From last 3 years, you also know that from last 3 years, we are trying our MCA students to learn even hardware that about an IoT things, that is Arduino boards, Raspberry Pi, and Node MC. You like that, and one day you came and you have solved many problems of the projects, PBL projects. So like this, now my this children also doing a projects as a mini projects, and around 27 projects my students are doing, sir, this time. And in that, many are there, like agricultural solutions, smart parking, and different other things. Even sir, one important thing is smart cradle is there, means ತೊಟ್ಟಿಲು.
Okay.
Yeah, smart ತೊಟ್ಟಿಲು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು.
Okay.
ಆಮೇಲೆ and others are doing noise ಬಗ್ಗೆ, and smart notice board, smart attendance, like this 27 different IoT projects my students are doing, sir. Sir,
Okay.
just I request that any problem if our students get, sir, please, I need your help to solve that one day. We'll make that session like this, experiment wise. My students will interact with you. Any problems is there, it can be solved.
Sure, sir. No issues. Actually, you can share my number also. If they have any doubts, they could contact me on WhatsApp or something, so that I'll get back to them personally. Because
Yeah.
one-on-one, I can discuss the projects and I'll be able to help them.
Students are
Very
listening.
thanks.
Yeah, yeah, sir. Really, it's a very good thing, sir, for our students. Why? Because my children always they are very new to this very field. Actually, to say IoT is only a theory subject, that too elective for them.
Okay.
But we made it compulsory to all the students. Why? Because the trend of IoT is more in a companies and all, because of that particular reason. And the mini project whatever is there, we made compulsory, everyone has to do IoT project. So
Okay.
it will add on to their resume, like that, sir. If my students with these projects and all add on to their resumes, how will be the openings in a companies and all, sir? Means especially your company, you are designing many devices, bio devices and all. How will you prefer our students like that?
Yeah, actually, there is a scope for IoT everywhere, sir. Because in automotive industry, in biomedical, in I mean, every industry actually there is a opportunity for all those things. Yeah, in our companies also we have an opportunity for IoT based, because right now I'm working on the basic hardware part where it's going to interact with the cloud based interface. But the cloud based interface that also has to be developed by a software developers only. Okay,
Yes.
so and managed by those things, and over the time the new algorithms has to be developed. So there's a lot of scope actually if people work towards this IoT. and analytics and data analysis. So there's a huge scope actually. So they can work towards this, and they'll have a better future actually.
Yeah, especially I told my students also that, especially in a data analytics. So the IoT is the main another part of IoT is the data analytics. Once the data
Correct.
is stored in a cloud, so with what algorithms and all you will use, you will predict your required information from that particular cloud or in a data set. So that also I told my students, and they are also learning now the machine learning. That subject is there for them. So I told them with these projects you can implement somewhat a small machine learning algorithms also for predictions. One they are doing air pollution monitoring and all. In that things they can use that, sir. How is my idea, sir?
Nice, sir. Actually, it's good. Actually, right now the pollution is one of the major problems that has to
Yes.
be monitored. And apart from this pollution, if you're able to detect any other mm, gases presence like microbial presence, then that's also a innovative thing in this scenario actually.
We
If you're
can
able to
do we can do that. We can do that. Sensors will be there.
readily, there are no particular sensors. Actually, that's a concept which we are also working in our company. Okay,
Uh,
so still it's a R&D thing which we are working on. So it's not yet finally done. So still
okay.
it's a, I mean, if a particular student has a concept that could be done theoretically, which he has an idea that could be done. So that idea could be taken ahead by a company actually with his
Yeah.
involvement and like his own project he could pursue in a company.
Yeah. Sir, one of my children, Shashank, is doing a project that accident lifesaver. For his project, he asked me like this: what we having a plan like this is a vehicle whenever it hits means that is accident actually to say.
Correct.
So we need that whenever it hits means some force will be there.
Yes, sir.
So for that, Shashank, are you there here, Shashank? Shashank, Shashank, Idiapa? I think he's not there.
No, sir, he is not there.
Okay. Yes, sir, he has used some force, something sensor like that. He has sent a pic.
The force registering sensor.
Yaudama, Purva?
A force resistor sensor sensing something. FSR sensor, sir.
Agata, sir, ado?
Yeah, ಅದು just collision detection ಗೆ. So just pressure ನ sense ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ actually ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು force ಅಲ್ಲಿ impact ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. So
collision detection ಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಆಕ್ಸಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಸೆನ್ಸರ್ ನ ಗಾಡಿ ಬಿದ್ದೋದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಬಿದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಲಿಪ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಮಾಮೂಲಿ 90 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲ 0 ಆರ್ 180 ಡಿಗ್ರಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಸೊ ಫ್ಲಿಪ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಈ ಎರಡು ಸೆನ್ಸರ್ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಗುಡ್ ಸರ್.
We can conclude it. Yeah, it's good, sir.
Conclude Madi, we are sending that message to the nearby police stations, and 5 numbers will be there of their friends. We are sending a message to them with location. So taking a longitude and latitude of that vehicle, that instrument. So we are sending that. Is it how the projects are actually means?
Yeah, it's good, sir. Actually, yeah, it's good actually. That's what I could say. I mean, right now, these kind of things are important, and which will be integrated in this future vehicles actually. Because most of the phones also, I mean, currently we can say that the phones which we have, right, the smartphones. So they have a lot of sensors, like gyro sensor and all of the sensor. As soon as like this is a personal experience which I'm going to say right now, that one of my friend was having his phone in his pocket and was riding, and due to some problem in the pothole in the road, he just slipped and he fell down. Suddenly, what happened? The phone sent an alert message to some regularly used contacts saying that he fell at particular location. That he did not know that kind of feature was in the phone. As soon as he fell down, the phone detected the falling down and it sent an alert. So already phones has all this facility. So similarly, vehicles, if it's there, so that will be helpful, because if there is an accident which happens in a remote area, so nobody will respond over the immediately. So that alert has to be sent. So this is a very important thing to save some lives actually.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Any other doubts, students, about your projects also? If you're facing one thing, you can ask, sir. Students. Okay, sir, Chandrakant sir, thank you very much. You have spared your valuable time with us, even though you're so busy, sir. Really, it's very useful for my students. Sir, just my request is there. One day I'll fix for means my students are still in gathering the information, knowing about that. It will take
Okay.
another, I think, 1 month. So I'll let you know, sir. One day we need your help, sir, please.
Sure,
Uh,
definitely, sir. I'll be there. Please let
yeah.
me know when I need to come.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for being a part still now in our
Thank
session.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Students, students,
Yes, sir.
ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು ಸೆಷನ್ ನಾವು? How is the session?
Psych.
Good, sir.
ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಕಂಪನಿಯವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರೆದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕಂಪನಿ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೌ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ means how they are working. Yeah, all the session that BioFi, you have seen the glucose detector, which is enabled with the Android phone. He has told yeah, how they are working in that. That means that whatever the projects you are offered now and whatever the projects you are doing now, it's not a joke like that. Just not to force with us, you do these things and all. You do that projects and all for your career. That is very much important. So that's my intention. That is a main intention of that. Okay, now I'll take things. Now, the activity for you means what you have to do on this particular thing is, yeah, you have to mail me for the following questions answers. Okay, note down the questions. Note down the questions, right? First one. First one. What is the role of IoT in a biomedical science? Biomedical science. Next, what are the different applications? What are the different applications are there in a biomedical based on IoT? Based on IoT. Next question. Using an IoT, how health monitoring can be done? Health monitoring can be done. Next question. Next question. What is your conclusion on the BioFi instrument which will detect the glucose of a person and updates that in a cloud? You
Can
conclude.
repeat the question, sir?
What is your conclusion? Yeah. What is your conclusion on? What is your conclusion on a BioFi glucose detector instrument? Full stop. Full stop. Yeah, these questions you answer and you send me the mail. This is activity number 3, I think we have did already. So which you can send to me. Any doubts, anything is here, and this particular person we can utilize him for even our projects also. What he told, are you listening? He is a very friendly person. I will give his number also. You can just call personally if you're facing any problem with your projects. You believe or not, you will do project in 1 day. 100%. He will do your projects, whatever is there, no? Each project he will do in one day. That much capacity is there of that particular person. No, believe or not, I have seen him directly some 10 to 20 days from starting from designing a board on one card and doing a project. Is damn good in that. So, very, very intelligent fellow in that particular sense. So, we have to utilize that type of a person's. So, I'll give his number and all. Do the projects in a good way. It will be very helpful, even for us also in our department. So, I will answer your attendance now. Aditya? Aditya?
Yes, sir.
Ajay?
Yes, sir.
Ajay, ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು session?
Sir, it was very good and very interactive, sir. We had a lot of information from him.
Good, good. Amit? Amit?
Yes, sir.
Amit, why you left out, Amit? In between?
Because sir, network issue, sir. I've just joined again.
Yeah. Antima? 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 Apurva?
Yes, sir.
Ashwini?
Yes, sir.
Bindu?
Yes, sir.
Divyesh?
Yes, sir.
Gaurish?
Yes.
Gaurish? Gautami?
Present, sir.
Gunashekar?
Present, sir.
Harini?
Yes, sir.
ಹರಣಿ ನೀನ್
Yes,
ಯಾಕೆ
sir.
ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಬಿಟ್ಟೋಗ್ತೀಯಾ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತೀಯಾ ಹರಣಿ ನಾನು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಹರಣಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್
Hello, sir.
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟೋಗ್ತೀಯಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಂದು
Hello.
ಹಲೋ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ
Sir, network problem. Network problem.
ಎಷ್ಟ್ ಸಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟು
Network problem, sir.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ನೀನ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
Sir, ಅದು ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ಸರಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸೂರ್ಯ
Present, sir.
ನಾಯನಾ
Present, sir.
ನಜ್ಮಾ
Present, sir.
ನಿಧಿ
Present, sir.
ಪ್ರದೀಪ್
Sir.
ಪ್ರೀತಿ
Present, sir.
ರಾಜೇಶ್ 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 ಸಹದೇವ್
Present, sir.
how was the session Sahadev
Good, sir.
yeah Saket 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 Santosh
Present, sir.
Seema
Yes, sir.
Sinchana
Present, sir.
okay ma Spurti Spurti
Present, sir.
Shashank Shashank
Present, sir. Present, sir.
ಎಲ್ಲೋಗಿದ್ದ ನೀನು ಇವಾಗ ಬಂದಿದೀಯಾ
ಸರ್ ಅವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದೆ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ.
ನಿನ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ನೀನ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ
ಹ್ಞೂ ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಅವಾಗ FSR ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರಿ, ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ನಾನು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಸೆನ್ಸಾರ್ ನೇಮ್ ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ನಾನ್ ನಿನ್ನ ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ನೀನ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಸರ್.
Yeah, our idea is good. What he told, 2 sensors, what we are using, that is good. We can use that.
Okay, sir.
Varsha,
Present, sir.
Yashaswini,
Present, sir.
Amrita, Amrita, Ilva, Amrita, Anusha,
Present, sir.
Apurva K,
Present, sir.
Sai Siddharth, Sai Siddharth, Chetana,
Present, sir.
yeah, Kavya,
Present.
okay, Kavya, big, quick, time up, sarge late agate. Kavya, Kavya, illa, Madhushri,
Present, sir.
Manish,
Present, sir.
Sarfaraj,
Present, sir.
Murugesh,
Present, sir.
Mani,
Present, sir.
Paresh.
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್.
ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು ಸೆಷನ್ ಪರೇಶ್?
ಸರ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಸರ್, ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಟಿವ್.
ಯಾ. ಪೂಜಾ,
Present, sir.
ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್.
Present, sir.
How was the session, Prashant?
Nice, sir. It was nice.
Yeah. Pratibha,
Present, sir.
Pratik,
Present, sir.
ಸಾಧನಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಶಶಾಂಕ್,
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್.
ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾ,
Present, sir.
ಶ್ರೀಧರ್,
Present, sir.
ತನೋಜ್,
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್.
ತೇಜಸ್ವಿನಿ,
Present, sir.
ಅನಿ,
Present, sir.
ಆಶೇಶ್, 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 ಐ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಶೇಶ್. ವಿದ್ಯಾ,
Present, sir.
ವಿಶಾಲ್.
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್.
ವಿಶಾಲ್ ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು?
ಸರ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಸರ್.
ನಿಂದು ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅದನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋ, ಸಾಕು, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ.
ಗುಡ್. Thank you, children. Thank you very much. Just I'll anyway. Thank you.